Hello, most valuable dads, you amazing MVDs. We are so happy that you are here for the Girl Dad Joy Summit. My name is Dr. Carmen, and as the Girl Dad Coach, I am your go to PhD for learning the knowledge and the skill to effectively connect with your daughter so that you can protect her from modern day influences as she approaches adolescence and as she moves through adolescence. And I'm just so honored to be partnering with Sanical for Periods. Sanical is a femtech company based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, working to eliminate the stigma surrounding menstrual health discussions. My friends over at Sanical, Zakira, Roxanne, and Chase, they've developed a range of creative initiatives and campaigns, including the Period Passport Book, the Black Menstrual Health Summit, and the Period Genie game on Google Play. And for this session of the summit, we are just so excited about our guest today. So let me tell you a little about him. His name is Christopher LaRon Lamont McCoy, or CL McCoy. He's an experienced producer and engineer with a demonstrated history of working in the music industry. He's been blessed to work with so many artists, and I'm just going to name drop a few of them. He's worked with Bone Thugs and Harmony, Baby Bash, Dave East, Mexican OT, Jadakiss, Buster Rhymes, T-Rail, Doughboy, and that's just to name a few, y'all. He's also been blessed to work with some amazing athletes as well, including Kevin Durant and James Harden. He is skilled in beats, music, education, arranging, entertainment, and audio recording. And in addition to all that, he has his own production company called Styles Productions. He is so amazing. Welcome, CL.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this so much.
Oh, it is definitely our honor to have you here with us. So let's get started. As we mentioned, your professional background is, in the music industry, but
Yes.
we are here because we're going to be talking about what it's like to be a girl dad, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
so start off by telling us about your daughter and your relationship with her.
Oh, I can go on for a long time. But I got a little girl, obviously girl dad. Her name is Cherish McCoy, and she's 9 years old. She just had a birthday last month, so she kept me broke for Christmas and the birthday at the same month. A lot of gifts for her, obviously, but she's just an amazing child. Very smart, just gifted. She's in swimming. She does dance, she does gymnastics, she does cheerleading, she loves to do hair. So she got these little mannequin doll hairs that I get her and stuff, and she likes to just do their hair. She's does a little makeup and stuff, not the craziness of the makeup, but just little lip gloss here and there and everything, keep it still age appropriate, obviously. But she's just a fun child, and I can imagine what she's gonna be as the older she gets. But she's just great. And
Yes.
and
Well,
she keeps me on my toes, obviously, being raising a little girl and just being a little girl in this social media TikTok world today. So they learn things a lot quicker than I feel like a lot of us did growing up, because we didn't have all that. The world wasn't shown to us as much. It was kind of a little more protected. So
yes, and I definitely do want to ask you a little bit about social media. But before I do, you said that Cherish is 9 years old. Are there any ways that during her 9 years on the planet, are there any ways that your relationship with her has changed over the years?
most definitely, as you was speaking about earlier, being a musician in this entertainment business. I used to travel a lot. I traveled all the time. Just obviously being somebody in my lifestyle, I have to go to LA's and Atlanta's and New York's, all these big places, because I do a lot of touring and different things like that as well, and do a lot of tour management as well. So I had to travel at times, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometime a month or two, you know what I mean? Just to make sure I come home and bring that bag home. You know, I got to take care of the little one. So her mother, you know, at the time, it was a lot easier because I could just kind of get up and go. And I knew she was okay. She was with her mom, you know what I mean? And everything like that. But around 2020, 2021, things has changed a little bit. COVID a little bit kind of slowed it down, but her mother just kind of started going through just life situations, you know, and I had to really come in and take control of, I wouldn't say take control, just be full, you know, handle the business like I'm supposed to as a dad, as a father. And just started taking care of her and just realizing like I missed so much as well because a lot of times I wasn't there to watch her do homework. A lot of times I didn't, you know, cook for her and different things. Not that I was not there, but it just wasn't the full experience that I noticed that I had with her and how much she was growing up when everything started happening around that time frame. So it just changed me completely because I had to learn how to start cooking. My mom used to cuss me out. She'd be like, son, you got a little girl now. You can't just be making little chicken nuggets and stuff and throw them in the oven, call it a day. You know, you have to, learn how to cook. You have to, start cleaning up more. You know what I mean? You have to just run the household totally different than just being a single, a bachelor, I guess you can kind of say at the end of the day, because that's kind of how I was living as well. So, so it changed me all the way, all the way.
Yes, thank you so much for describing that. And as you were speaking, I'm just wondering, our kids can teach us so much, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so, what do you think are some of the most important things that you have learned from being a dad to cherish?
Patience. Patience is everything, of course. You got to have patience for them. Your schedule has to clear up. You have to clear up that schedule. Because like I said, she does a lot of different school activities outside of school. She does with the cheerleading and all that different things. And she's talking about she wants to get a basketball next year. So I'm over here like, girl, you have to cut a couple things out because we ain't gonna have all this time to do everything. So patience, just schedule wise, just really paying attention, just watching them grow, because as they get older, body changes, they're getting smarter, they're learning different things, questions, get asked a little bit more with more serious things, what's going on here? How did that happen? You know what I mean? And so it's just all about being educated and just being patient with the, son or daughter, you know what I mean, with your kids, period. So definitely, I feel like that's some of the biggest things right there.
Fantastic. So she's been an excellent teacher of patience
Oh yeah.
for
Oh
you.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And so, as you mentioned, she's 9. So she's right on the cusp of approaching adolescence.
Uh-huh.
My background is in psychology, and so we would definitely say, she's in that preteen realm.
Oh yeah.
Um, and you mentioned that, she's beginning to ask more questions, which is good,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And she's asking you those questions, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And so what is your approach when she might ask about something maybe that she's seen on social media that you feel might be a little more mature for her?
Well, I do have a great family foundation as well. My mother, she's um, a great, great, great role model to her. I have great girl cousins that's around that gives me breaks. If my daughter needs to, she'll have Cherish stay with her. They'll do girly things, get the nails done. Just still keep that, give her that girl feel. Aside because sometimes she getting older and she don't want to do everything with dad no more. Like there's times that she wants to, like I said, do girl things. You know what I mean? She wants to get her hair done. She wants to play makeup. She wants to play nails, and all that fun stuff. And I understand that. So I do have a great family foundation, and I have to ask questions myself. I'm not gonna lie. Like I sometimes I'll call my mom, like, Mom, how do I answer? How do I do? You know what I mean? So I do have a great family foundation, and they help me with a lot of things and give me great advice on certain situations. And it hasn't got to the crazy questions yet. I can say that at least. It hasn't got there yet. But just just certain things is growing up, and like you said, as the adolescent days are starting to come. So
Yes. Well, those questions are coming.
It's coming. I already know. I'm ready too, somewhere. Yeah.
Yes, and I love that you said, you're ready because I think a lot of times, in my work with dads, I've seen that a lot of dads are not ready for their daughters to bloom. They just not ready. And so
I know
it's
it's going to
hard.
happen.
What's that?
I know it's going to happen, so I got to get ready. You know.
Right. And it's hard for a lot of dads to envision their 9-year-old as a 19-year-old. It's just really, really hard for them. There's some fear in there. Will she be able to, avoid some, precarious situations, all of that. So I love that you are thinking ahead, and thinking about, possibly even some of these answers to these questions that she's definitely going to be asking.
Yes, because I saw how fast these 9 years went. So I'm just thinking to myself. So in the next 9 years, she's 18, about to graduate high school. You know, going to the like you said, about to go into this world. So 9 years honestly feel like three. You know, it just moves so quick. So I'm like, gosh, the next nine, yeah, they're gonna be here before I know it, and I'm gonna be raising a woman. You know, because we're always gonna raise our child. You know, no matter how old they get. You know, my mom still cusses me out and tell me to take out the trash when I come over to the house, just to show her, I still got this. You know what I mean? So, so we always gonna be the little babies. We always want to be, you know, coming home. I know I came home like a good three or four times before I was officially out the house. So I know she's gonna be probably calling me up certain days and certain moments, like, "Dad, can I come home?" You know what I mean? So I'm just like I said, I'm just preparing for it, and yeah, I'm just ready. I'm ready for whatever is thrown my way, good or bad. I just want to make sure that she's led in the right direction, and I know that sometimes you have to bump your head to get the true lesson. So I'm not going to be that true. I mean, I was, of course, protective. So I don't want to take that on content, but uh, I know that sometimes to bump your head and learning from your own experiences will help you grow as well, because that's how I had to learn. Even though my mom and dad and family, brothers, whatever, told me, don't do this or don't do that. You're young. You're like, okay, I get it. But once you actually do it and you mess up and you figure out, okay, you're telling the truth, that's when them lessons really, really stick with you. So I'm gonna let my daughter bump her head just a little bit though, because she still got to learn life lessons. So
Absolutely. And that's definitely part of the learning process. I loved how you were talking earlier when the family dynamics changed.
oh yeah,
You were talking about, hey, I got to, be involved with this homework a little bit more. I got to, do some of this cooking and not just, chicken nuggets.
right.
And so it sounds like fathering really changed for you.
It did. Yes, ma'am. It did. Because like I said, I had a little one bedroom, one bathroom apartment. Nice apartment and everything, but it was enough for me. You know what I mean? For how much I had my daughter and stuff, I didn't need to have a lot of stuff. I didn't need to have a lot of space at this time. So I just was kind of just living my life. And my daughter would stay with me. Me and her mother, we didn't really have no, court things going on. I never really wanted to go through the court system and stuff like that. It's just kind of more like, you know, let's parent together. You know what I mean? I have her these days, you have her these days. It's just, this compromise to keep it simple where we don't have to go through the whole system and everything like that. So I just kind of just did my thing. And then fast forward, after, like I said, things changed and I had to have my daughter full time. I realized that, yeah, me, a lot of my living and different things, how I just, was taking care of myself had to change as well. The eating habits, the cleanliness, how I live, different things like that, you know what I mean? And space, you ladies, y'all have to take up some space now, you know what I mean? So, I had to kind of grow and everything like that. And then now today I got a three bedroom home, nice gated community, and she has a side of the house with her playroom, her room and stuff. So she elevated me as well as becoming better person, and just upgrading myself and how I knew how we both can be living. You know what I mean? She made me better in that aspect as well. So
Yes. Isn't it special when our kids elevate us?
yeah, like I said, it just changed she just changed me completely. Like she always changed me, of course, but having to wake up every day and make sure she gets to school every day, her hair is done and fed, and all that stuff is just, it's a whole different experience. Totally.
Yes. And there are plenty of dads out there who, feel like doing the hair or helping with homework or, doing the cooking is something that the mom should do, if there's a mom around, whether in the home or, co-parenting. But there's so much research out there that shows that when dads are involved with that, it's so much better for the girl's self-esteem.
Mm,
So, what do you say to those dads, or speaking from your experience about, doing some of those things that we might have initially, let mom do?
right. I mean, I think every man, especially young black girls at that, just being there, you know, guiding them do different things. Because this is my thing. Your little girl is going to see how you treat people and how you treat her, right? So, and they absorbed all that. So, how you treat other people, how you treat other women, and if you're bringing other women around them, or which I don't do all that. I don't be bringing people around my daughter like that. But how you treat their mother, or your own mother, my mother, or however, they watch that, and all that stuff they take into stride and see, like, my dad treat people good. My dad, he takes care of me. He does my hair. He already takes me to get my nails done in spas and this and that. So she gonna already have such a high standard of men that when she does get older to date, when she's about 40 years old, say that it's gonna be a lot for them to be have to make her like, okay, I kind of like this guy, because like I said, dad got it held down for it, so she got to, I feel sorry for these men coming up later on in life, because yeah, pops done got her, ready for the world on that aspect. So but I truly believe that's important, though, to you have to really show your daughter different things, so she can see how a real man is supposed to be, so. And my dad is a great father as well. He raises me and my brothers wonderfully, and she loves her pop pop. That's her. She'll stay with my pop pop over me her any day of the week. You know what I mean? If she had to choose to stay with me or my dad, she'll probably be with my dad. So, because he's worse, he's way worse. So yeah, and he had all sisters, so he's been, around women his whole life. So it's just something he's used to. So
Yeah, well, I love how you describe that you're essentially the model for manhood in your daughter's eyes, right?
yes,
And so how you are engaging with her, how you treating her the ways that you and the things that you talk with her about, that's all like being imprinted in her
yeah,
about, what a man is. And definitely, because she will get to that point where she's dating CL, she gonna get there.
yeah, man. 40 years old. That's fine with me. Go ahead.
But when
Fine.
she does get there, the beauty, like you said, is that she'll be using you, the model that you've shown her and demonstrated. She'll be using that as the standard,
Yeah,
as the bar, right?
yes, ma'am.
And so I'm wondering, because there are a lot of, dads out there who don't necessarily realize how important they are in terms of their daughters. Like they don't realize that they are setting the model for manhood, for, who she might choose later on. So how might we get, dads to be, of course, not all, but just some, dads to be more like thinking ahead and realizing that, how they engage with her now can really impact who she chooses to be with later.
Yes, I mean, all of that. I mean, it's just because, we have this thing of, a lot of fathers do not be in, the young girls' lives, and there's certain things that they turn to, can really hurt them, you know what I mean? And I understand that. I got friends that don't have the fathers in their lives, and I talk to them, and they have different experiences where they're like, dang, I wish I had my father in my life. And sometimes, women, they look at their man or their boyfriend or husband to kind of be their father figure sometime because they didn't get that father figure at home. So a lot of times, uh, the men that they choose in their lives, a lot of times they choose men as well because they want to have that, like I said, that father figure to them and don't look at them as sometimes as their man or it's like that's their dad sometimes. So it's like it's just super important to be uh, in your daughter's life, in your girl's life, even your like I say, your son's life, whoever your child is, they grow up and they understand things and they see things as they get older. Because like I said, my daughter asks a lot of questions now. So, um, but yeah, so
Wonderful, wonderful. And you are just so amazing about honoring your daughter on your social media, really, really active about your activities. So what is it that makes you intentional about really showing us your relationship with her?
well, at first I was very kind of like, should I show her on social media? Because there's a lot of weirdos out there, and I get that. There's a lot of people that don't like their kids on social media or anything like that. And it's not a decision that I just throw my daughter on social media. My daughter loves um, being attention. She's kind of that girl who wants to be maybe like a Disney kid, a Nickelodeon. She just always act things out. She always dances. She's just really intriguing. And plus, me, I just see all the stuff I do, she watches that. She sees my business, my entertainment, and me traveling and me being with a lot of big stars in the industry. So she's kind of watching the entertainment world in front of her. So it's kind of like it's kind of rubbing into her as she gets older. So and I don't make her do anything she doesn't want to do. She does it on her own will. She chooses, and at first it's just kind of started like me throwing a couple things like, let me show you what my daughter out here doing, what I mean? And people just got so in love with my daughter. Like people all the time is always writing me and saying, "Oh, your daughter is amazing. She's a star, and this and that, this and that." And I can see that she's going to be the next big thing. And then after that, I'm like, "Hey, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and keep on showing it." And a lot of my followers has watched her grow up, so they're really intrigued by how they saw her as this little kid into now this 9-year old and the things that she's doing and learning, and experiencing with me. So it's very cool.
That's amazing. It's so, so fantastic. And because you're definitely a dad who thinks ahead, right, in terms of her development.
Mhm.
And we all want the best for our kids. But as you think about your daughter, being a woman, being 30, 40 years old, what is your vision for her? What type of woman would you really love her to be?
Like I said, as long as she's living the right way and doing what she loves to do, I'm really, I just want her to be successful. What I mean? I'm trying to set up a foundation for her right now because I feel like a lot of times as men, at our age, we start late to really lay a foundation down for our children. And I've been doing that for a long time already. Like my daughter, she owns 75% of my company, and I have her getting half of my royalty. So when I sell music or anything like that, or any type of business, she gets that goes to her bank account. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to leave something for her as well as a business. Not saying this is what she has to do, but just having something for her now. So when she is 17, 18 years old and getting ready for college or whatever she chooses to do, long as like I said, long as it's something uh, um, you know uh, positive and ready to do that I got her ready. What I mean? At least got her set up, and then the rest will make because we're not here forever. We're not here forever. I'm not gonna be here forever. Hopefully, I live for another 50 years. But if it's other plans, I just want to make sure before I leave this earth that my daughter's good to go. So
Wonderful, wonderful. And those conversations around finances, entrepreneurship, savings, investing, all of that is so important too.
very important. Very important.
Yes. And so I really love, CL, how you just said, that you started early with laying a foundation for your daughter. And sometimes parents can start late, it's almost kind of like, in hindsight. And as we begin to wrap up, I'm wondering, what are your, I don't know, top 3 to 5 tips for the girl dads who are watching this summit? What might be your top 3 to 5 tips for just being the best girl dad that they could be?
I think these tips are pretty easy. You know what I mean? I kind of talked about a little bit earlier. Of course, patience. Like I said, patience is definitely something that you got to have. You know what I mean? And that's with anything in life. You know what I mean? Sometimes we want something so quick. We want things to happen right then and there, but it doesn't happen like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes things take time. Things take a learning experience. So definitely patience, listening. Gotta listen. You know what I mean? Gotta listen. Uh, because like we were saying talking about earlier, there's going to be questions, there's going to be different things, different situations where the little your girl is going to be asking, and she's going to want to give her advice as well to different things or situations that she may go through that she wants you to listen to me, Dad. Like this is what I want to do in life. It might be times like that where she wants to do something in life, and we have to listen as parents to really appreciate what our kids want to do in life. It might not be always something that we want them to do, but they do have their own life, and they will have their own life regardless of we tell them they can't do it or not. So listening, I would say. And the last one is let's see. Let's see the third one. Let me go. Um, just being there. I mean, just being there for your child. Through thick thing, through anything. And sorry, my dog. Hey, shh. Sorry about that, y'all. But just being there as a girl, listening, patience, and just being there for your child. You know what I mean? I think those are like pretty simple, but it's hard as well.
Yes, I definitely want to ask you a follow-up question about the listening piece. We understand what patience is, as hard as it is sometimes, to be patient. But when it comes to listening, some of the dads that I've talked with said they feel like they have to listen differently to their daughters than they might to their sons, or just their overall communication, right? How they talk to her might even be different how they would talk to a male or a boy. Do you see any differences in terms of listening or communicating with your dog?
Man, I wish I could hear, but my dog is yelling so loud. I could barely hear something. Can I put him in a room real fast? I'm so sorry. Hold on real quick, because I did not think he was gonna be doing all that barking.
It's so amazing that our pets want our attention too, right? Just like our kids, they part of the family. So it is okay. But what I was asking is that sometimes dads feel like, because you mentioned listening,
Yes.
and they feel like it is different in the way that they listen to their daughters
Hmm.
versus listening to their sons or their nephews. And sometimes they feel like even how they speak with their daughters might be different in terms of how they speak with their son or their nephew. So have you noticed, or any tips or anything about when it comes to listening, how that might be different for a dad when he's listening to his daughter?
Ooh, yeah, that's a great question. You know, um, I just think I don't want to use the word sensitive because men are sensitive too, boys are sensitive too. But it's all it's obviously women go through a little bit more changes than what men have to go through. You know what I mean? They have to go through the puberty stages is obviously obviously way different from men's. So you're gonna the girls, women, and you guys have to go through a lot of different changes from growing up as little girls, even getting older. Women body changed a lot. You know what I mean? My mom all the time. Ooh, I'm about to have a hot flash. You know, she it's just different things. So it's just I think you got to talk to your daughter just differently because like your son, you can kind of cuss them out, throw a shoe at them and call it a day. You know what I mean? And they just gonna go into the room and get on the game, and be like, man, whatever, dad. But your little girl, you know what I mean? That's just like I don't know. Little girls to us is our soft spot. You know, they give us our. That's where our softness come from. Quick story, not like a story, but I can kind of say my uncle. My uncle growing up was hard. You know what I mean? We used to go over his house and be nervous that he was gonna be at the crib because he used to, you know, we was all boys and cousins and stuff. I got all brothers. You know, used to punk us a little bit. You know, me and rough us up. You know, give that hard uncle, you know, uncle love and stuff. As time went by, my uncle, he, you know, he has nothing but granddaughters now. My girl cousins just have little girls now and stuff, and he's the softest thing in the world. I'm over here like, I know this is not the same man that used to punch us in the chest when we came over, but it's just something about these little girls that just make you soft. I don't know. It's just what it is. It's just what it is.
And I think it's okay. I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful balance. Sometimes you need that hardness,
Yeah.
and sometimes you're going to need, the
Don't get me
softness.
wrong, you still yell at them too. You know, you're still gonna get yelled at. You know, still gonna try to, you know, set some boundaries and discipline them. But it's, you know, we try hard to act like we're gonna be doing something to them. We don't do nothing. We don't do nothing. We over here be like, whatever. I just leave the room like, let me call.
Yes.
I'm always handle the discipline. So let me
Well,
call
thank you so much, CL. You just dropped some amazing, nuggets. Of course, talking about the patience, the listening, being there, the way that our daughters, teach us. And I'm sure that the dads who are watching definitely want to know how they can, follow you. And so, how can they stay connected?
Yes, definitely. And I want to thank you so much as well for having me on this wonderful platform, and I appreciate everything that you do as well. You know, we need more in this as well to know that we have people out there that you know show us love too, because there are so many fathers out there that are single, and a lot of time the mothers get the like only mothers are single full-time parents, and salute to them as well. But there are dads, we are out here too, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that coming from you. And as you see it below, Instagram at LaRon Vision. That's my Instagram, and that's where you can see all my stuff that I do, from music wise. My daughter, obviously, you get to see her do her stuff a little bit, you know what I mean? And just follow me. You'll have a great time. I got a lot of good stuff on there. So I'll keep it short and sweet.
Yes, well, thank you again so much. We cannot just express our appreciation enough for you taking the time out to be here in the Girl Dad Joy Summit. Thank you, CL.
Thank you. Oh yeah, real quick, I'm just gonna show you a little quick picture so you can kind of see the little girl that I have. And this is her little sassiness right here. This is her doing her dance thing right here.
Okay, I see her. Yes, I see the sass. Yes.
That's the sassiness in her right there. So that's the little one right there. And like I said, I thank you once again, and I appreciate uh, what you do. So
Wonderful. Blessings to you.
thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah.